Hi guys, I'm Emily St. Paul and I'm at St. Polycarp Church and I will be interviewing my uncle today. His name is Father Michael St. Paul. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So we have some questions for you today, and the first one is, why did you become a priest? Or what made you decide to become a priest?
My goodness, that goes back many, many years because I can't remember when I didn't want to become a priest. It's been so long. When I was a little kid, when I was an altar server, I had this idea of becoming a priest, and I had wonderful people who were around me, mainly my mom and dad, and my teachers, and even the priests at the church where I grew up in, which was St. Justin's in Anaheim, California, inviting me to think about becoming a priest when I was like 8 years old. And I took that seriously, but I didn't say yes. No, because I wanted to be a boy, and I wanted to play. And so, but that was a seed that was planted in me a long, long time ago by wonderful people who reminded me of that invitation throughout my life.
So you always had that idea?
I did, but I also like to work, and I like to make money, and I like to have fun, you know, and I still do. But when God calls, and you have to answer God's call. But I did have a life of work for many, many years, and lived on my own for many, many years, because I'm known as an older vocation. I didn't become a priest when I was in my 20s. I was much older than that. But I feel good because I had experience that I brought in. But I decided to become a priest because of the invitation that I received from God, His vocation call. I answered, finally, and because of many, many people's support and encouragement. And I love to serve people, and I love everything about our Catholic Church. I love to share it with people.
That's good. The next question is, what did you want to do before you became a priest? And did you have any jobs that you really liked?
Well, obviously I did have jobs because I didn't become a priest until I was much older. Much older. And because I'm not as, young as I look. I worked for a major entertainment company for many, many years, 24 years, and received all kinds of experience in business and working with personnel and working in retail and working in administration. So I come to this position as priest, as pastor, with lots of outside experience, which was very, very helpful in being a priest. So, but I was there for a long time, so that was really the only job I had. Well, I had many positions within the company. So I wore many hats, and I'm mainly in charge of people and developing people and managing people.
And the next question is, what is the most challenging part of being a priest?
Wow. I think one of the most challenging parts about being a priest is having enough energy to be one. Because the job is like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Although, thanks be to God, we have 1 day off a week.
What day is that?
Well, I keep that private. Teasing. Then they'll all know. No, we have 1 day off a week, and it's not on the weekend, obviously, because a lot of our work is on Saturdays and Sundays, obviously. So 1 day off during the week, and I rest.
You rest.
I do, because it's a wonderful ministry, and I love every part of it. Although there are things that are challenging, but the biggest thing that comes to mind is having the energy to do this and to pace yourself. I come from before I was a priest, when I was younger, I had a lot of energy. I could do things and not even stop for a minute. I'd go from morning until night. And now as I'm older, I have to be smart and to pace myself and have people remind me to slow down. And so I have the energy to do all the things that we have to do as priests, because we are on call, so to speak, like a doctor. 24 hours a day with emergencies and things like that, and we have people who are in emergency situations and grave situations that we have to go and anoint and pray with the families and so forth, and other things that we have to do that require energy, So
Hi, my name is Alyssa Valente, and I'm partners with Emily St. Paul, and I will be finishing the interview with Father Michael. Okay, the next question is, what is your favorite part of being a priest?
Oh my gosh. That might take 2 days. There's so much that is so enjoyable about being a priest. Mainly is the fact that I get to serve God and God's people all the time. And that brings joy. That brings joy. As a priest, that kind of ministry is why you say yes to it, because it brings joy. If it doesn't bring joy, then I don't know what to say. But thank God, when I said yes to this finally, after all those years, that God was knocking on my door, and the vocation call, I said yes. I said yes for the right reasons, and that's to serve Him, to please Him, and to help people in our parish, in our church, and in our lives, to get to know Him and to have the same joy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And our last question, do you have any advice for people who are considering joining a religious vocation?
I do. Not everyone today had or has the experience that I had when I was 8 years old, you know, and have had all those years to think about it, about becoming a priest. But those people who are recently thinking about becoming a priest, or a nun, or sister, or a religious brother, or a religious sister, there's all kinds of vocations, right? Not just priest.
Yeah.
Religious vocations, there are many. But if you are experiencing a call, you know, it would be to your advantage to talk about it with either your priest, a spiritual director of some sort, to understand what that call might be, specifically for you. Because I said vocations come in a variety of ways. Could be a priest, could be a sister, could be a religious brother, or what have you, or a lay person who is, you know, consecrating their life, devoting their life to God, and not getting married, you know, and having children. Mm-hmm. There are many, many vocations. But the first part is to just listen to that call. And so it depends how good of a listener we are in life. And everyone is invited to be a good listener. You have to be a good listener to be a student, right? Do the best you can, and you have to be also, when a vocation is possible and the potential of one is there. Listen to what God is, you know. So you pray a lot, and you bring those thoughts into your prayer, and then, you know, as courage comes along, you get more brave. Mm-hmm. You talk about it to someone who's close to you, or a priest, or someone, a counselor, or a teacher, or maybe even your parents. You know, it is something that is very, very necessary in our Catholic Church to have vocations, obviously. Mm-hmm. You know, specifically priests, because without priests, we wouldn't have the joy of the Mass, would we? Because priests are the ones that celebrate the Mass. And so, if a person is considering it, then I would advise that person to pray about it, and to bring the answers to those prayers, you know, to someone who can help them, guide them, you know, and go to a spiritual director or a priest and just say that, you know, you're having some thoughts. Because that's basically what I did when I got older. Not when I was 8 or 9 or 10, when my seed was planted, but that's very important for that seed to grow. And all of our jobs, I feel, in our Catholic world, is to be promoters of vocations. Mm-hmm. And everyone needs to know that. By virtue of our baptism and all the sacraments that come later, every Catholic person has that opportunity, or that privilege, to be a vocation promoter. And when you see possibly a vocation in somebody, I think she might be a good sister, or I think that he might be a good priest. Find the courage to ask that question. It was asked of me when I was 8, mm-hmm. and it scared me because I was just a little kid, you know. But if someone's a little older and you sense a vocation in that person, you might ask that million-dollar question. Have you ever considered becoming a priest? Have you ever considered becoming a sister? Mm-hmm. You know, they may look at you kind of strange and no, Or maybe they may not. Maybe they'll say, yeah, why did you ask? Well, then you might say, because I sense something in you. You seem like a very spiritual person, a very holy person, a very considerate and kind person, and that's what God, does, and for some of us. So that's what I would do. I would advise someone to for one, be a vocation promoter, okay, and ask those questions of people that you might think have a vocation, and then if you are a person who is considering a vocation, is to pray, and then just talk about it with people that can help you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
We have one last question.
What?
Can we have a high five for Vocation?
You can. All right, Vocations,
Thanks.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. I enjoyed it. Bye.